What's cool about it is that TikTok realized they have a lot of eyeballs. People come to the shop, they buy from you. TikTok takes a small percentage of the sale. The coolest thing about like a TikTok shop is that they actually also let you set up like your affiliate commission.
Maybe you're doing something right now that you've been doing for 20 years and it's marginally working, and you've got to just cut it loose to free up bandwidth and system and process and money. And we've have clients who we've seen that play out that way with, clients who have found the right influencer. It's totally just blown up their sales. And it's really amazing to watch.
Basically just the front end sales channel. He developed a strategy because in his own business he wasn't profitable with the strategy.
Well, it's clearly working wonders for our clients, and it's crazy to me how many agencies don't know about this at all.
But this is the number one ROI-driven marketing channel, according to 1,400 marketers right now.
Yeah.
Social media shopping tools. What are your thoughts on that? And explain it more. Like, what is it?
Yeah,
how does it work? What's that?
It's really interesting. So I'm actually experimenting with TikTok shops now with the Art Supply brand. So hopefully I'll have a valuable case study to share here with the pod here in the near future. But essentially what's cool about it is that TikTok realized they have a lot of eyeballs, which at the end of the day, the business that you're in, if you're in e-commerce, is eyeballs on your products, right? And the right target audience in front of your product and ready to buy. And TikTok realized they could do that, but they wanted to do it with the least amount of friction as possible. So basically they followed like a lot of other social media platforms trying to generate e-commerce revenue. So this is another revenue driver beyond just advertising. They could actually take a percentage of sales, very similar to Amazon does, right inside the platform. So TikTok Shops is an actual like shop, just like you would in Instagram or Facebook, that you can set up. Put all your products in, connect it to your Shopify store. You can fill it through your Shopify store. You can fill it directly by like printing off labels out of TikTok. If you wanted to do that, they have like a label process. And then as people come to the shop, they buy from you. TikTok takes a small percentage of the sale as sort of the referral fee, similar to Amazon, but it's like less than half. And then you get the proceeds and you ship it out and ship it out to the customer. It's your customer, comes to your Shopify store, right? It's in your TikTok shop. You have that customer. Now, I think that the coolest thing about like a TikTok shops, as opposed to some other like social, like Instagram, for example, is that they actually also let you set up like your affiliate commission for content creators right inside the shop. Therefore, say I want to give a 25% affiliate commission, and that's just this default standard I set. Mm-hmm. Then you could literally go out and just start talking to content creators on TikTok, and once they create their own version of the content they want to do that points to your TikTok shop, when that sale is made, they immediately get paid their commission. So TikTok actually takes care of the affiliate commission for you, right? And then you get the proceeds net and you ship it out to the customer. It's your customer. And so it's a very well integrated system. So, and right now I would say TikTok ads are, as of this recording, relatively cheap, in terms of video content to put out there. So what you can also do is then you can amplify out that content if you're working with a content creator, and you can spend some ad dollars behind it. If it's really performing well, it enables you to really push that content out there. The other thing that's interesting about TikTok is that the virality of the algorithm is still pretty open, right? As opposed to Instagram or Facebook, which is much more harder to generate, so that viral
pay
content.
To play. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's really interesting. And there was a case study that I found a couple months ago where this dog grooming business, they had an in-home dog grooming kit. They sold it for about like $80. I think that was about the price point for it. They started a TikTok shop, I believe it was September of last year. Beginning of September. Between September of last year and like mid-January, they did like $1.4 million in sales on TikTok shops, primarily on the back of ads and content creators promoting it.
Yep.
So a lot of revenue. So yeah, it's really interesting.
I love it. So another factoid from this HubSpot survey is that on TikTok, 56% of marketers plan on increasing their TikTok investment during 2024, the highest increase of any social media app. Another 33% plan to maintain their current TikTok budget. So 30% are going to maintain, 56% are going to increase. So clearly the fears that TikTok is going to be closed down is not dissuading people from leaning in. It's clearly working on the ROI side. And I have to assume people figure it's going to get resolved in terms of the ownership and the legality of being in America. It'll continue to be in the app stores, and the opportunity will continue to be there. This is just really, really interesting for me. And, I know when you're an e-commerce seller and you're maxed out, you're like, I can't do another thing. You can't do TikTok. But this is the universe telling you, or at least the universe of your peers, that the best ROI that they're getting is happening through TikTok shops and, again, other social media shopping tools. So if you haven't leaned into that space, then I would just say you got to prioritize brutally. Maybe you're doing something right now that you've been doing for 20 years and it's marginally working, and you've got to just cut it loose to free up bandwidth and system and process and money to lean into what's working better. And so hopefully this short list is helpful in that regard to kind of give you the direction to go in. There's always something new, friends. The internet marketing, there's always something new. And frequently, I would say, the early adopters get the worm. Early birds get the worm on this stuff. And so if you're behind on TikTok, I would say it's definitely this is your peer group telling you this is working, and it might be time to lean into it. So really, really interesting list, man. Any other reflections or thoughts on this stuff?
There was a couple other data points I thought were interesting, where 71% of marketers said that they plan to leverage both short form and long form video as part of that content strategy for ROI, right? Which would lead itself to TikTok, to social. Video is definitely something to try and take advantage of as much as you can in your business. So I think this is just sort of reiterating that fact. And then another interesting thing from my perspective was another 87% of marketers plan to increase or maintain their investment in influencer marketing, which also sort of, I think, plays into their paid social. And I think it plays into their shopping, TikTok shops. You can really lean into content creators and influencers as part of that strategy. So I think there's definitely still a demand for influencer marketing. It may not be quite the buzz that it was a few years ago, but it's still a very viable approach and strategy to execute and learn how to execute at a high level for in terms of ROI. Once you unlock a couple of really awesome influencers, it can radically change your business overnight.
Yep. And we've had clients who we've seen that play out that way with, clients who have found the right influencer. It's totally just blown up their sales. And it's really amazing to watch,
Yeah. I mean, it is very great. Like, if you look at their business without having that influencer, they're probably flat or maybe a little bit down. But then you layer in that influencer and they're up massive percent over last year because they have such huge demand spikes with crazy conversion rates, crazy traffic, and just big time sales. So it's really interesting.